It's another edition of The Reset. Make sure you like and subscribe. I got to tell you what I just saw at Seahawks training camp. Let's go. Man, Seahawks 2025 training camp over there on the shores of Lake Washington at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Let's get right into it. First, let me set the scene. You all have been over to training camp, or maybe you've been over to a practice over there. If you haven't, it's a beautiful setting, right? In this setting, it is a Friday before Seafair, so you know what that means. Yup, Blue Angels. Oh, if you're a Blue Angel fan like I am, it was beautiful for them to be flying over practice. But here's what stood out to me. Look, some of the veterans, they know, and when you know, they understand what goes on. But watching some of those rookies out there, you could see they were like a deer in headlights. They were just like looking up and trying to focus and pay attention. It was actually a pretty cool scene to just watch it. It's like being out there for the first time, and you remember whether it's your kids or family that's in town, the first time they get an opportunity to see Blue Angels. It's kind of cool. So, look, the setting was awesome. They had the season ticket holders out there. They were honoring season ticket holders today, and also the Blue Pride members that were out there. So it was fantastic. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to give you about 5 or 6 takeaways, right? But first, we'll start off with the news. According to Ian Rappaport, Seahawks standout offensive tackle Charles Cross underwent successful surgery to repair a dislocated finger down there in LA. And the expectation is that he will be ready for the regular season. So that's the kind of news you don't want to start off with, considering that this week they'll have Football Fest on Saturday. They're a week away from, of course, Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders coming in town for that preseason game, number 1. But here's what really stands out to this. It stands out that you're talking about their first-round draft pick, Gray Zabel, at left guard. He needs that. He needs that Charles Cross during this time of practice to get the continuity going with not just him, but the entire offensive line. We talk about the offensive line, I feel like, all the time. We talked about it a lot in the offseason. We talked a lot about it when it comes to the first-round pick. So the fact that Charles Cross is going to be out for a limited amount of time, that's not great. I mean, look, the big fella, Gray Zabel, is going to have to get some work in and work without his, the Seahawks veteran left tackle. That's just going to, that hurts for right now. Look, the good point is that they say he's going to be back game 1. And as you all know, game 1 is a division rival. It is the San Francisco 49ers. So that right there is going to be rough. So we'll pay attention to that about when it comes to that offensive line. But again, Gray Zabel needs that veteran that's right next to him. That is important. And it's not just Gray Zabel. The entire offensive line has to continue to get that continuity to move and groove, so that's going to be important. Now, here are the takeaways. Let's start off with some amazing news. K9, Kenneth Walker III, looked incredible. The way that dude shift gears, it reminds me of Rocky Balboa and Rocky IV when Adrian told him that she didn't think he could win the fight, and he went and got in the car, and he was just switching the car in gears. Anyway, I'm sorry, I had to get off tangent right there. But K9 has switched his gears incredibly so. The way he moves, if he stays healthy all season, he will be a Pro Bowler. Like, he will put up big numbers. There's just a different gear when that dude has the ball and that he is able to put it in. It is incredible. K9, Kenneth Walker III, I think he might have had a good offseason because he looked damn good. I mean, like, popped off the screen. And I'd argue that in the reset in the offseason, we haven't really talked about K9. At least I haven't. Well, count on me talking about K9 an awful lot. That dude looked incredible. Takeaway number 2. You guys remember in the offseason, the Seahawks, they picked up DeMarcus Lawrence from the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, he looked good. Now, granted, he looked good because obviously he was going against the Seahawks offensive line at the time. And, it was a little rough. There was about 3 plays in a row where DeMarcus Lawrence got right there in the backfield. So if we can get the DeMarcus Lawrence and we all know when that dude is healthy, that dude can play. And man, that D-line looks incredible. DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Jay Reed, you got Leo, the big cat, and of course you got the young bull, the rook, Byron Murphy II. So the defensive line, remember, this defense is going to go as the D-line go. Look, I know we talk about interceptions and we talk about all of those things, but the defense starts in the front and not in the back. So if the Seahawks can get that D-line rolling, which I'd arguably say that this defense on paper should be really good. It's not probably. It is right now. It's the strength of this team. That defense looks really good, but I want to specifically talk about DeMarcus Lawrence. He looks in great shape, looks fantastic. His get off on the line of scrimmage was powerful, explosive, quick. Like, tease me right now if you're going to be this good early on. So it was good to see DeMarcus Lawrence out there. I know some people have been asking what he has been looking like, and it was really the first time that I really got to really pay attention. And in 11-on-11, he for sure got busy. Takeaway number 3, Jake Bobo. I really love his game. Jake Bobo reminds me of the kid that was on your team or the kid that you coached that knows the plays, early to practice, stays late, does all the right things, the fundamentals, gets down, and he looks in incredible shape. Looks fantastic. I realized today, and I was sitting there watching Jake Bobo, not just when he wasn't out there practicing, when he was taking off and the other team would get out there and off to the side, watching him be there for his teammates, cheering on his teammates, staying engaged. I get why Jake Bobo is a fan favorite. Like, I was sitting there, I'm like, man, and don't get me wrong, this is what, year 3 going in for Jake Bobo? So don't get me wrong, he is a fan favorite, and I've always liked him too. But today, I really was watching him. I'm like, man, I really do like a Jake Bobo. So that looked good. The next takeaway is, look, the defense won today. The offense right now, they need more time. And usually that's kind of normal, right? I mean, this offense, it's newer, right? You got Sam Darnold, you got new receivers and the tight ends, and I'll get to the tight ends in a second because I got something to say about them. But more and more, this offense is going to need a little bit more time to gel together. And let me just say this. This is training camp. So no matter what me or anyone else says that has been watching them in the sports media, this is training camp. What that means is it's practice. This is why you have practice and training camp in preparation of these games. Preseason, which is going to be a week from today. So just because we have an opinion on what we see does not mean that that's how it's going to be the rest of the season. We're just giving you it in real time as to what we are seeing at that time. So just because I'm making a comment that today, from what I saw, defense was won against the offense, that does not mean that the offense won't get it together. That does not mean that the offense won't do their thing the next time I'm possibly out there. Another thing, the Seahawks have a long day. So when you guys think of training camp, you got to think, when I first got there this morning, those guys were in the weight room. When I first got there, they not only do they do the weight room, they have meetings, team meetings, position meetings. They go out there on the field. Then I'm sure they're going to go back for position meetings, and I'm sure they might have walkthroughs. So it's not just, when you're talking about practice for a day, it's not just those few hours that we, the media and the fans, are out there. So again, I felt like I had to say that because sometimes people will take what we say based on what we saw at training camp and just make that the gospel and be like, oh, this team's not going to be good. Look, it's a privilege and an honor for we fans and media to be able to get out there and check them out and see it. So again, today, hats off to the defense. Defense got it done. They were flying around, and they were doing their thing. Let's talk about the tight ends. A.J. Barner, number 88. I think I really get it now. I've always liked A.J. Barner. Really, I thought that was a great pick. Actually happens to be and was one of my son's favorite tight ends. And as you all know, my son played at The Ohio State, and A.J. Barner played at, we call it the team up north, but for this podcast, I'll say University of Michigan. And while A.J. Barner was up there, my son was always a fan of his game. The Seahawks are pretty good at the tight end position right now. Elijah Arroyo, physical specimen, looks fantastic. But by the way, Elijah, I don't know if you're going to see this or not, but, bruh, you wearing that big towel? That big old Gatorade towel in the front and the back? You double toweled. You got a small towel in the back and a big towel in the front. Too many damn towels, Elijah. Come on, man. But, hey, you look fantastic out there as far as playing the game, but them towels, swag ain't there, my boy. Tight end room looks good. I'd argue to say, I think that there will be more production out of the tight end room this season than there have been in a long time. Back to A.J. Barner, I don't know what his measurables were and what they are now. But from the eye test, man, that dude had a great offseason. And you can tell, right? You can tell when some of these guys have that offseason. Well, not saying that they all don't work, because they do. But I'm sure some work more than others. You can see it in A.J. Barner that, you had a very good offseason. So A.J. Barner looks great. Tight end room. I want to see how that's going to shake out. Salbert, who was brought in as well, he used to be a San Francisco 49er. As you all know, Brady Russell was there. They had Brady Russell lining up at fullback today. Brady Russell is a special teams guru, so you know Brady is going to be on that roster and what he brings to this team. Shout out to the special teams. Special teams a lot of times don't get a lot of credit. Brady Russell gets down on that special team. So that was good to watch out there. The tight end room, I'm really confident about. Granted, during practice, going over during individual drills, yeah, I was paying attention to the tight ends. And as you all know, the tight end position is something that I do. I pay attention to it a lot. Overall, great practice, great intensity out of the coaches, the players, the 12s. I mean, look, it's Seahawk football, right? And you all know, if you've been to training camp, then if you know you've been out there before. It was just great to be out there with beautiful weather. It was great knowing that it's almost here. The Hall of Fame game, and this is on Thursday. The Hall of Fame game is tonight, right? So football is here. It won't be a while before we won't have any type of games. So the question would be is this: do you put stock in the preseason? I put stock in the preseason. Everyone puts stock in the preseason, but just not necessarily in the wins or losses, if that makes sense, right? So you're looking for depth. You're looking for to see who's going to be those players. As you all know, week 1, when Pete Carroll and the Raiders come to town. By the way, the reunion, next Thursday, Pete Carroll coming, Geno Smith coming, and man, did y'all forget? Jamal Adams is coming. So you got all three of them back in the building at Lumen Field. And this, what I'm excited about is the very start. This is the 50th season. And by the way, I ain't one to gossip. You ain't heard it from me, Miss Benita. They got some really cool stuff that's going to be happening at Lumen Field for the 50th season. I'll share with you this one thing. At Ticketmaster Tailgate, every game, they will have a penny press, right? And so it's an opportunity for you to get a commemorative penny. One side will be the 50th, celebrating the 50th season, and the other side of that penny will be whatever game it might be, whatever special moment that is happening for that game. So looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. But as far as preseason, here's what I am looking forward to after today. I want to see what the Seahawks have in Jalen Milroe. Second-round pick, and I believe as of right now, he's in a great situation. Sometimes I think quarterbacks get in and they try to play them right away. I think he is in a great situation as far as he's got two other quarterbacks in that room right now, in Sam Darnold and Drew Lock, that are veterans. He also has, these are veterans that have been through some things, right? As you all know, Sam Darnold, been through some things, right? Drafted by the Jets, and then he was with the Panthers, and then he was with the 49ers, and then he was with the Vikings, and he had a good year with the Vikings. So he's been through the league, and he's kind of been through some things. Same with Drew Lock. So I'm glad that Jalen Milroe is in a room like that. This is gonna get opportunity to see him get out there in Lumen Field with the 12s, but I'm sure they're gonna slowly get Jalen Milroe into there. Now I will say this, something that I saw about that boy's fast, like lightning fast. So I'm curious on how they're gonna play him sometimes, especially in the red zone. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And just more importantly, as we all know, next week, preseason game, we probably won't see the starters a whole lot. I have no idea, but I'm assuming that we won't. And if we did see them, maybe we see them for one series. But outside of that, we'll see the second and third strings and see a lot of these young guys get out there, get acclimated, and get a better footing for the game. But look, this is a whole new season. And the season begins right. I mean, it has begun already. Even though the regular season isn't until September 7th against the rival 49ers, the season starts now. They're in preparation, bodies getting callous, working out, getting good, getting ready. It's a long season, absolute long season. This Saturday at Lumen Fest, at Lumen Field, there's Football Fest that is happening. The Seahawks will be there. It's an opportunity for you to see them scrimmage and practice and everything. So I hope you all get over there, because that will be pretty fun. But other than that, I'm trying to give you guys everything. I think that's really what you got. I forgot one. So let me paint the picture. So team period is happening. Offense, defense. There was a play. I was right there on the sideline, and there was a play. It was a quick little out route, and watching Rory come down so fast, and it was like 1 minute he's on the other side of the field. He makes the break. I'm standing on the sideline, and I'm like, I better move. I just thought I better move, even though I didn't think it was going to get close to me. Let me move. When I said let me move and I moved, the next thing I know, them dudes was close to me right there. Had I not moved, they would have taken me out, number one. Number two, Rory gets up, and when he goes to get up, it was like this. I'm looking down, and he gets up. He's standing up. Whoa. This dude is big. And I know people are comparing him to, Cam Chancellor when you think big safety and everything. Here's what I saw. He has the shoulders, he has the height, he doesn't have the girth of Cam, at least not yet, not right now, but he's got the power source. He's got the legs. And this dude, Imamori, is a physical specimen. Speaking of big team, this might be the biggest Seahawks team that I have seen in a long time. Like, I don't have the measurements and everything and heights and weights right in front of me. But the eye test shows me, man, this team is big. So I'm anxious to see them get out there. I'm anxious to see what's going to happen at Football Fest this Saturday. But more important, baby, we're a week away. Let's go. We're a week away from the Raiders coming to town. I'm looking forward to that. I just know that Jalen Milroe and Drew Lock, they should get a lot of time in that, and we'll see what happens. Look for that offense to try to gel together. That'll be more important for the offensive line to get out there and get some reps. The young bull, Gray Zabel, the first-round pick, getting out there. By the way, he's a big dude as well. So, look, overall, it was a great time. I pretty much gave you everything that you kind of needed to know. Sam Darnold, I'll end with this. I think Sam Darnold, I don't think Sam Darnold has to be a superstar for this Seahawks team. No, I really don't. I don't think he needs to go out there and have a 4,000-yard season. No, I just think he needs to be a quarterback that is solid, steady, turnover-free, right? Turnover-free. I also believe that this is the reason why, outside of Kenneth Walker III, this is why I think the tight end room will be very beneficial to having this quarterback out there. That's just, I think it's just going to be intermediate, short throws, crossers, and everything. I think this offense with Kubiak at the helm, yeah, I'm kind of confident with it. So we'll see how it breaks out. Remember, it's training camp. These takes that people have, don't get too worried. It's a long season, but more importantly, the reset, we're going to be here all season long. So, look, that's it for me. It's been fun. I'll get back out there this week. I'll be out there for Football Fest. I'll be out there. I'm looking forward to that Lumen Field. And then, week from today, Seahawk football. Oakland Raiders come to town. Pete come to town. Geno, Jamal Adams. It's time for them to I know I said it's, wins and losses, no big deal in preseason, but let's be real. I really would like for the Raiders to lose. Matter of fact, being greedy, I just want the Seahawks to go 3-0 because even though I say wins and losses don't matter, I kind of want to see a nice little win. So that's it for me. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, bro. All right. Hey, we'll do this again next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hey, the Seahawks season is here. Football season is here. Hall of Fame game is tonight. Appreciate you rocking with me. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.